Hi there. We are talking today about consecration versus hibernation. This is a topic that's really near and dear to my heart. I don't necessarily think it's going to have mass appeal, but I do think it will resonate deeply with certain people, particularly people who are spiritual empaths, who are introverts, spiritual introverts. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes we feel like we need time to ourselves, solitude. And sometimes we do need solitude. Sometimes we do need that time to ourselves. But there is an importance for us paying attention to what is our motivation for whatever we do, including spending time with ourselves, extensive time with ourselves. And it's important for us to discern if we are truly seeking consecration versus hibernation. So let's talk about the difference. So, consecration is a time when you're really isolating yourself to God, and it's essentially the motivation is to run to God. You're running toward God to get clarity or to just bask in His presence, just worship Him, to deal with things, have conversations with God. Hibernation is when you're running from something. So consecration running to, hibernation running from. And usually with hibernation, you're running from people, from situations, and you just don't want to be bothered for whatever reason. Consecration can be very powerful. It can be a spiritual reset. It can be really turning your heart, your mind, your spirit more closer to God, in some cases back towards God. It's that time, as I said, for you to be able to ask for clarity, to get healing that you might need. But that hibernation, on the other hand, the hibernation, oftentimes it starts with fatigue. It might be burnout emotionally or physically, withdrawing from a situation or someone. And you don't really sometimes know why, but you just feel like you need a break. But hibernation can be sneaky because a lot of times what hibernation can do is mask itself as a way for you to get peace when really it's a way for you to ignore pain or a conflicted situation. Whereas consecration is going to bring you peace, it's going to bring you calmness. Hibernation is really going to be more of like a muffle, more like a numbness, because as soon as you go in that situation again, you're going to have to face whatever that discomfort is all over again, given that situation or individuals, until you have that courage to really deal with it. So hibernation can oftentimes have you stuck in like an emotional heaviness or confusion when you're going back out to that situation. The beauty of consecration is that it's guided in purpose. So usually when people consecrate, you have a purpose in mind. God is saying, okay, you're too busy. I need time with you. God's trying to tell you something, but you're not sure of what. You know that you need healing from something specific, but you're not sure of what. You need time to figure something out. Whereas hibernation, you really don't know why you may be isolating yourself or taking yourself apart from whatever that context is. It's usually out of a scenario of emergency. You're exhausted. I just need a break from that, is usually what we're telling ourselves. But if we're not really clear on what the specific goal is, it could do more harm than good. Whereas consecration is an opportunity for us to really be focused, really be purposeful, to build, to, yes, set boundaries like hibernation, but they're purposeful boundaries. They are temporary boundaries with an intent to do a specific thing, to clarify a specific thing. And it's the healthy way to set those temporary boundaries. And it's a time for you really to be able to build with God in a really beautiful way. And it's not to say that you can't go to God, obviously, when you need a break, when you need rest, but just be clear on what your motivation is, so that when you go back out or go back to whatever that situation is, you are fueled up and you're not just starting all over again and repeating the same cycle. After consecration, you often have gifts, gifts of wisdom, gifts of peace, alignment with what God wants you to do. But oftentimes with hibernation, you're really not gaining any type of growth in yourself. You're really just like experiencing a timeout to do the same exact cycle all over again. So, for me, I was having a conversation about this actually with my sister. This is something we both were discussing and, exploring the difference in ourselves. Is it hibernation? Is it consecration? So I thought, perhaps this is something that might bless others that also have that same question of when to separate, when to, take a break, set yourself apart, or when to really be in it and deal with it and figure out what's going on in a courageous way, so to speak. Hope this blessed someone and hope that you are having an amazing season. Have a good one.